going down to Venerated now. 6 kills, 11 total kills for Envy. This is the exact style of play they wanted.
There it is.
And there's the flush. Envy takes the first full elimination of this game.
No, it's going to be Booty that pops down one of them through, and that's going to be it.
God.
Envy makes the
22
changes.
kills.
22 kills, popping up and getting themselves a round win.
This is the exact...
Alright, guys. So to repeat the strat.
Sure.
Increase. Say it.
Increase the points. Increase points per game.
Points per game.
Be irrationally confident, dude.
Yep.
Let's
take all the fights first circle and just win them all.
Well, we talk about it all the time, right? You bring in that new player and you have the honeymoon phase as it's kind of become. Even just bringing in that one player, having that new voice in there can make a huge difference.
There's multiple cars, multiple cars.
I'm nading.
Play safe, we have an angle.
Knocked one.
One at the US.
Knocked one.
It's Lazarus.
No, it's Endemic.
Or Endemic, that's what I meant.
Nading where they're at.
Knocked another one. One
Two knocked. We should get aggressive.
Three knocked.
We should get aggressive.
Killed your guy.
He's at the bottom.
He's at the US, bottom US. South of the tower. First floor.
Okay.
Hold the windows, I'm nading Terrell. Hold the windows.
I'm holding.
I'm coming to help.
Yeah, I'm staying here.
Got him. All dead.
Getting. Nice, I'm backing up. I'm going back to Moody.
There it is. And there's the flush. Envy takes the first full elimination of this game.
He's at the tree, my ping. He's running.
Noble coming in and actually...
He's at a tree, my ping.
On this angle.
Yeah, nobody is pushing it. Wow. Pushing back towards the end.
They're running the open to us. Northwest, 290.
It's going to allow Clam to move forward, but he's going to regret that one as
Envy.
Envy steps up, takes the shots.
I
think it's...
Lost it, yeah.
I think Tempo has 4, and then we have 4, and then Ghost has 1. They're on the tree, my ping.
Hit twice? 3 times?
Nice. It's just us versus Tempo, 4v4.
They're smoking a lot.
I'm starting to smoke forward.
Do we have nades? I don't have any.
I have a bunch.
Alright, can you drop me one?
They're pushing low on me. Trying to help.
One stop right at the rock, Carol.
2 low on me. I need to keep smoking. Yeah, just smoke towards us if you can.
Let's hold the rock guy, Moody. He's about to be in blue.
Yeah.
I might be dead here to nades. We should push high ground, I think.
Holding the rock guy. He's still at the rock? They're on me, I'm pretty sure. Knocked me through smoke. Two of them on me. Oh, rock guy.
I'm healing. I can't.
Pushing for center. Knocked one on Pat. I knocked one on Pat.
I'm nading smokes.
Flying prone.
Knocked one?
Knock. 2 up. There might still be one more over there.
One more, yeah, on the right.
Play slow in the smoke.
One's far right. One's far right.
Looking for far right. Yeah, one's far right. Proning at the smoke. Don't peek him.
I smoke on you.
Yeah, resmoke. One's close right.
Knocked that.
One up. Left guy prone. He's proning. He's prone right side. Let the smoke dissipate. Let the smoke dissipate. Yeah, play slow. Right near me. On my body. Nice! Let's go, Moody.
Good shit.
The players are taking a break, but match 2 is gone. Let's take a time to talk about it, Cameron. Why Tempt Fate joins the 16K club with a 17K victory right there and 27 whopping points.
Yeah, they saw Cloud9's previous game with, 16, we can do better.
We can do
and they
better.
come in with 70 kills, and it is a huge game for them. It's what we've been hoping to see them do for the past couple of weeks.
United, second place with 7 kills. Glad to see them performing again. And my big takeaway also is 9th place. They went out in 9th. They didn't end up in 9th. That's 4th. Ghost picked up 7 kills. All their points coming from that. And it's like their response to Simplicity in the last game saying, we're not going to take this lying down.
It's half of me wants to say shame on you for waiting this long to go big in games like this, for like United and Ghost Gaming. The other half is keep going, just do it, That's fine. Better late than never. But we still have 6 games left.
If coming out and trying to win at the end of the day is shameful, then so be it. Call me shamed, because these guys need to step up, make the plays. Rankings as of now, there are 6 games left to determine top 4 for London, bottom 6 for relegations, and who takes home the 100K grand prize. YTEM Fate gets a little bit closer after that game. Wildcard gets a little bit farther, and Ghost and United both pick up much-needed points on Simplicity.
Yeah, but Simplicity is still in the lead. United did actually get above Ghost.
Yeah.
But there's still a gap that needs to be worked between both of those benchmarks, the top 4 and the bottom 6. It's not over yet.
It's not over yet. United and Ghost, both teams that have been fighting to earn their way back into the top 10. Welcome back, guys. My name's Tavies. I'm joined by the Cammy D. It's the analyst desk here at the OGN Super Arena in beautiful California. For those of you who are in the Midwest getting covered in snow, I'm sorry. I'll be back with you tomorrow, I promise. All right, great games. For those of you who are covered in snow, good news. One more mirror match on the way, so you can revel in the desert and forget about what's going on outside right now. Good game, exciting. Yeah. Miramar has been like that lately. In fact, we heard the casters talking about sometimes the players don't care for Miramar, but we really enjoy watching the games. I feel like Miramar has really benefited from the new settings.
Yeah, because the biggest, at least from what I feel, the biggest weakness of Miramar is just the size of the map and how there's a lot of waiting that you don't see a lot of people. With the new settings, that just gets cut down in half. The games are less than 30 minutes now, and so it doesn't take you too long to get into the fighting position. And with the terrain on Miramar, there are so many opportunities for you to use that to flank around, to have a defendable position. It's not so dynamic as some areas of Erangel could be.
I think the trash loot buildings on Miramar were already better. Now that the loot is increased, they are substantially better. That said, let's take a look at some of the trash compound looting as well as the entire game. Highlight time, Cameron.
Lazarus had another bad start, going out 16th 2 games in a row.
Phalanx
cannot be good for their motivations.
Sharp shot up on the hill. Noble gets stuck in the dip and torn to shreds. They showed moments of genius in the last game. I threw confetti for them. I wish I could run the video in reverse after watching this one, because it was a tough fight. Not a great place to get stuck. Wildcard caught them with their pants down. In the end, they are eliminated.
What's not a great place to get stuck is Simplicity right now. A very well-timed engagement onto an Endemic who are actually getting shot in the back. But look on the minimap, they are not alone, because we have Ghost Gaming coming up, going aggressive. They've been trying to third-party anyone and everyone this entire round, and they finally find an opportunity to do so.
In the new PUBG meta, you're never alone. Assume someone is coming, and that's what we see in fight after fight after fight. Ghost uphill, catches SSG at point-blank range.
But then they also get third-party by YTEM Fate. It's 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th. Everyone is trying to get an engagement.
This is the C9 push that could have been. C9 here's the third party. They try to go after WTF. They get shot from behind by United, and then they tuck their tails between their little legs and run back to the warehouse, and they get annihilated. Why?
And that's the engagement and the setup that YTEM Fate needed to take this entire game home. They said in an interview, Baja did. They sent Puck across the road with the vehicle during this fight while everyone was distracted. You control both sides of the road. You control the game.
Dude, that cross was genius. WTF said, we got some knocks. You're not going to steal him, United. We're coming over. They make the cross. Hypok almost dies, but somehow survives. Leaves them 4 up from 2 position, and they crash down on United like waves breaking upon the beach. There's just no chance for United to fight off that aggression.
Yeah, it's because they came from multiple angles, multiple crossfire angles, multiple sides. United had no answer. They needed to get 2 knocks almost immediately, but they didn't have the cover in their favor. They didn't have the angles in their favor. YTEM Fate put themselves in position to take home the win clean.
They capitalized on the other fight that was going on.
Yeah.
They knew that United and Tempo were distracted with each other. They made the cross when they needed to make it. They took a risk, and with great risk comes great reward. WTF walks away with, I think, not only a big win, or it was a big win, but a confidence boost that they could potentially return to form. WTF was a team that day one coming in here, Cameron, we said these guys are probably going to the Face It Classic in London. They're a top 4 team. and then they just have a really tough mid-season.
Yeah.
I mean, we heard Bahawaka. He was honest about it. Communication hasn't been there. They've been having trouble getting on the same page. And for a team, when you watch their segment in pregame loot that was crying about how much they love each other, that's got to be a tough pill to swallow.
It's, truth be told, this is not a team that we are unused to seeing them go through moments of, if you want to use a vague term, tilt.
Yeah.
We've seen so many other events previously during 2018. They were a team that were expected to be in a top position, but they just couldn't deliver. And then after the first week, when that started to happen here, it made me really worried. But they're coming back. If they can continue to ride the wave of this game.
Speaking of riding the wave, sometimes you got to ride your car to a better position. That means getting aggressive, Cameron. Talk to me about your highlight analyst. You wanted to talk about Envy.
Yeah, so Envy, they're on their own rotation game right here. This is actually when they're pulling away from Ghost. They tried to race Ghost for this position, but sometimes even you can have the perfect rotation, but if another team beats you there, you got to put yourself into a position to back out, and that is what I believe it's Moody and Venerated here able to do so. It's rough on the Murado, but they use the cover of their teammates as well as the terrain to back out. So always having a backup plan, a contingency plan for when a rotation goes awry is important to set up.
It's always rough in the Murado. The car that went from being the most popular vehicle ever put into PUBG to the least popular in about 6 days. Lots of fun to drive around the map on the road, but hard to push that high ground with. All right, these teams bled it out there on Miramar. We got one more mirror match of the day, but before we start talking about what's to come, let's take a look at the plane, the map, and what was in game number 2 of this lead up to the big finale, the trophy presentation, and the $100,000. Great plane.
Plane right down the middle, as close as you can expect to be so. And so open area, open possibilities for all of these teams during the early phase of the game. No one is really upset at this one.
No, definitely not. Everybody got their drops. There was no NPL circle, no matter how much, I think it was Matchroom was calling for it, tried to curse us into getting it. Right smack in the middle, could not ask for more. He's looking at me like it wasn't him. It must have been Poro. All right, here's closes even smaller. C9, Smoking Aces got the middle, but not the win. Let's check out the rotations and how they happen, Cameron.
United, White10 Fate coming from opposite sides, and they are going to, of course, clash in the middle. Control your corners as you flex on in. And well, White10 Fate definitely controlled all of theirs. We're going to have another final look at the final fight.
Final look at the final fight, the final push coming from WTF Bahawaka as he goes up over the hill and tries to throw the final bullet down on E United to put the final nail in their coffin.
The final point.
How many finals can we get in there? But this is,
more.
I mean, this is essentially the finals. They need to play well today. They know that they need to pick up those points. They need to try to secure their position in London. I don't think WTF has to worry about relegations, which should open them up to just sort of throw caution to the wind.
Yeah.
Come out, look for kills, make crazy crosses and 2-2 splits and say, we go big, or we legitimately just go home until the next split.
Or actually just go home for a vacation.
All right, enough about that. Let's talk about what's to come. Featured teams in match 3. White10 Fate, Team Envy, Cloud9, and Tempo Storm. 1, 2, 3, and 5, Cameron. Should be an interesting game.
1, 2, 4, and 5. I think we were looking at the 2 cusp, but nonetheless, White10 Fate, great game. Looking at the kills, Envy are still on top, but Envy haven't had that good of a first couple of games.
They've been slipping. Last weekend, they came in at around a 4.3 average kill. They got up to almost a 5.2, and they've slid back down to a 4.9. So they do need to kind of get their feet under them, though they tend to do better in Erangel.
But, yeah, this is true. But as you just stated, if White10 Fate go for the moves that are the big Hail Mary plays, the high risk, high rewards, Envy should be scared.
Look how close they are. They're closing on kills. They're closing on total damage. Points are the issue, and they're not that far off. So WTF can take away from the last game that London is calling, and it just takes another game with another big push. On the opposite side, higher up, I guess not offside, just above them, Cloud9 and Tempo.
Cloud9 came up huge. I was worried after last week of them actually maybe slipping out of the top 4, but they're currently in second, and they actually have first on kills and damage over Tempo Storm. Tempo Storm, I'm sorry to say it, this is not the Tempo Storm that we learned throughout the entirety of the phase.
Absolutely, and honestly, if Cloud9 does what they've done today and last weekend, continuing through the next 6 games, they could potentially pass Tempo for that $100,000 check. Tempo is a team that took the TV off the wall of their house to replace it with their winnings check from the preseason finals. That's how much they like winning. I look forward to them defending their first place position, but the guys who will be taking you on the last tour of Miramar for today are the 3 cheers of NPL, Porosaurus, Matchroom, and WTF Moses.
Oh, thank you so much, Toffees. We are getting ready for map number 3 here, and Taro has just identified that, yes, indeed, that is a keyboard that he's been using this whole time. So we're almost ready, boys. We had a pretty big banger of a game last time, if I should steal some phrasing from Sims.
Oh, 100%. I mean, that was an absolutely crazy finish to that round. I still can't get over how brave it was for White Tempt Fate to separate out into that 2-2 split, knowing how many people were still up. Tempo Storm, though, man, they have everybody in the world gunning for them right now, it feels like. Every single team is just looking their direction.
They really do. And, you know, you talk about White Tempt Fate, that's a split that they have tried in the past and they've got burned on. And the fact that they were willing to go back and do that again shows a level of confidence and trust in each other and a feeling that they can turn this thing around.
I 100% agree. We talked about it like a little bit in the break. Like, would White Tempt Fate have done that last week? And I don't think so. Whatever's changed this week, it feels like we're kind of getting that old White Tempt Fate again.
I think it's the we want to go to London, I think is the thing that's looming over them. Yeah. I mean, I did talk to Hypoc. He's a British citizen, so he wants to play at his home country in front of the crowd, right? And I mean, I can totally understand that. But for White Tempt Fate, they still have a bit of a mountaintop to climb. They have 26 points out of 4th place. They just put together a tremendous performance in the last game, but they don't have much leeway to make it happen again and again, but they do still have 6 games on the docket to try and climb that thing.
And Tempo Storm still weathered through everything that was happening, getting themselves in great position, and still 20 points above Cloud9. And you know, Cloud9 is just so thirsty right now. They want every single kill. They want every point they can get. They want that first place spot, but still sitting at the top of the mountain. Tempo Storm.
Look, Tempo, I mean, even when they're having a bad, we said this last week, even when they're having a bad day, it's still better than most, you know, average teams' best day. So, I mean, they're having a kind of a rough go of things so far, but they still ended up in the top 4 there last game in a kind of a rough position, but they made the most of it.
There is no reaction that is proper for when you randomly appear on camera. So I do like the one, only 50% of the parties in that frame were freaking out a little bit. So
it's true.
We are ready for match number 3. We're headed back to Miramar. The plane's in the sky. There's even some people outside of it already as we are headed left to right, north to south once again. And this one will be, again, a nice, easy plane path.
Where is that all of Lazarus? I feel that that's a partial. No, okay, that might be all of Lazarus. Okay, they're just really good at tandem skydiving. They might have you know, Woe has got Fozu on his little harness there,
baby harness,
strapped together to make sure that they find themselves in the same place. But either way, Lazarus finding themselves all the way in the northwest corner of the map. Everybody else going to be finding their normal spots here, I would think. Yeah, pretty much everything normal here.
Pretty simple little drop here for pretty much everybody. Tempo Storm. I guess I've been informed that the man we were just looking at was actually Raynad from Tempo Storm.
Hey!
So here are supporting the boys. And for Cloud9, they're headed into Picado. Easy peasy. I mean, I got to say, I wonder if this changes up for split number 2 if Picado and Pachinki are just free for Cloud9 all the time.
Well, they're in 2nd place right now, and they're holding these areas very dominantly. So I think it's just a matter of whenever somebody just decides to come up and try to dethrone them.
Yeah, and I mean, it's always like that as we see our new circle pop. We're going to go off to the Central West, so nothing too terrible here. But yeah,
the Midwest, if you will.
Midwest, yeah, the Midwest. There we go. As you know, and it's not like, you know, C9 has just recently gotten Picado, right? Pachinki, right? I mean, they've held these things for quite some time, and they've had some people kind of try to attempt to take them away, but every time, all comers are pushed aside.
I think it's more so the real estate being much more valuable now in this new meta with the point system the way it is, the shorter time to loot. Starting Central, not as big of a deal as it was, or than it is now, I should say. So for C9, I don't think they'll have anyone, you know, hot dropping them or anything crazy like that, at least until tomorrow. But
well, that's kind of what I was thinking whenever you start talking about them getting Picado and getting Pachinki. Really, the few times that we see that contestant come into play is once we start talking about the international stage. And naturally, we keep talking about Face It and everything that's going to be going on with the first Classic. But we also did see somebody try to take it away from them because I believe it was FaZe that actually hot dropped Cloud9 over the PGL and was just like, no, you don't get to play over here anymore.
I think that was a situation that was very specific where Cloud9 was the only
Let me
team.
talk about it because I love that moment.
I hear you. But I mean, given the right circumstances, yes, crazy things can definitely happen in the early game. But just looking at it from a long-term standpoint, it is an extremely big boost to Cloud9's game to start in the center of the map.
Yeah. What did you do to yourself?
He fell. He tripped. Tim's fell down. He got a little Band-Aid on his knees.
Yeah.
He's a little trooper. He's going to take it like a brave little soldier. As we see Baja in the middle of an endemic little incident here. It looks like he should be able to get out okay. Wolf going to come out, try to take a few passing shots. Nah, he's just going to go ahead and let him go. But yeah, look, I mean, you talk about the C9 phase hot drop thing. That was a very specific situation, but this is kind of shaping up like it might be close to that.
Oh yeah, like we said. Yeah, we said earlier, like when the chips all fall today, tomorrow will be set. So if Tempo is still big lead on the leaderboard,
well, that's the thing. It's the reason that FaZe did it right was because
they had to.
They had to if they wanted to win, but they also were, even if they went out last, they weren't in danger of losing second place.
Yeah,
and that's kind of what it's shaping up to be almost.
I'm an agent of chaos, and I love those like last couple of games. So naturally, as we move into tomorrow, where everybody's just going to be trying to get any points that they can, that's whenever the chaos factor just steps up. And people are in places that they wouldn't normally be at. And I love those games. Those are so much fun.
When he says he's an agent of chaos, he is not messing around. He has all times has a packet of glitter that he will willingly throw on you.
It's true.
You know,
that's just cruel. That's not actually chaos. That's just mean. Glitter never comes out. Don't believe him. Not a thing.
You can tell from his jackets, they literally never come out.
To be fair, though, the glitter on my jackets is a different story, all right?
It is true. It is true. Look at Valley. Going to take some long-range shots here from Noble. Noble, that's... It's really more annoying than anything else here, as Valiant is going to be able to crest this hill, get some nice little high ground here. The rest of his team just off to the southwest in Pozo. Looks like they're going to be dropping in and getting into vehicles, maybe coming up here to join them.
This is annoying to watch, I just want to point out, by the way.
Look, you know, off-roading is a fun and entertaining endeavor and activity.
Especially in first-person Miramar.
So we had Valiant that was running that crazy split. Everybody else was back over there. Remember, Baja was going and checking out Endemic, and then they get a crate.
But did they
What's
left
going on?
They left the M249. They left it.
Yeah, I mean, only 100 rounds, maybe leaving it for Baja.
Okay. All right.
Maybe M249 is not Hypok's thing. Maybe he hates fun. Maybe let's just draw all sorts of conclusions. He's
not his steez,
not his thing.
He's down with the mini. So you see C9 Nerf also going to be doing the same thing, engaging in some high ground taking. The rest of his team a little bit closer than Valiant's was behind him. Is something gonna try to make his way across the street. He's kind of he's a little split out here. He might be careful.
Looks like he was thinking about coming up to this hillside as well, but he was having to do it on foot. Cloud9 just rolls up in there, and now he's turned around and going, okay, I'm going to go meet back up with my friends now.
He's safe.
What's interesting, though, is given the way everything is on the map, almost all the teams are on the north. Really not very many teams playing around the Chumacera, Picado area. So no real big surprise on that. One team that does play towards the south, though, is going to be Tempo Storm as they do one of their big long rotations again.
I'm going to, here's a joke disclaimer for everybody, okay?
All right.
So the reason why something is often so split out from the rest of his team, so it's practice from when the rest of them are actually dead. So
it's fair.
Something is the guy who always seems to be, you know, alive late.
This is true.
True. Hey,
I took all the bite off of that joke.
I know.
It's just not as fun anymore,
yeah,
dude.
I know.
You really did.
I was like,
I'm trying to change my ways here, but it's just not as fun, man.
Moses is hashtag reformed now,
I'm very reformed.
This is very reformed. So I'm gonna have to take up the mantle. Everybody sucks.
Perfect. Nailed it.
Nailed it. All right. Well, so there we go. Envy is rotating I mean, they're doing this very slow and very methodically, and this is something that
very methodical.
As
there
you
for
say
Federated.
I think that counts as a caster grade.
Almost.
And just all right. So anyway, Envy, slow, methodical, and involved in there. But look, I mean, they're making their way out of Los Leones. They're getting these high ground positions, scouting around before they move on. They don't want to be caught out. They realize that they still have, you know, a fairly, you know, it's starting to get a little bit less, but, you know, they still have a decent shot here of getting first place if they have a good game. And Dre,
no breakdancing at the Murado, Dre.
Skirt. These keep them windmills breezy.
What's hilarious is whenever you watch pro players' reaction to whenever those cars start doing that, they just are like, whatever. Cool. I got this.
It's like, I'll just wait this out until this finishes. Uh-oh. Uncivil.
Oh, yeah, Uncivil looks like he's found himself in a bad spot as it's going to be early shots coming out from Space Station Gaming. these guys kind of a little bit more passive usually towards the start, but looks like they're not going to allow shoot to kill to get into any form of position around them.
Well, look, this is Space Station, right? They are passive when they have to be, but right now they are very good at picking out the fights that they want to take, and this right here is a fight that they kind of want to take because they have the advantage here.
They've got him almost completely surrounded. Well, okay, let's say 50% surrounded. Purdy Curdy is going to try to retreat back over to the other members of Shoot to Kill, as you can see, are separated out. Really, it's just going to come down to Uncivil being in a rough spot, and it's just a matter of how long is he going to end up staying here.
Shoot to Kill is, you know, we've seen now and again, they've been out of position, I guess, for Shoot to Kill standards. They're not in any crazy spots, but they've been making these little weird decisions that aren't really within their game. And I joked about this. I did a lot of analysis over the last week on Shoot to Kill, where they do the same thing every game. They come into the north, they do a 2-2 split for a little while, and then they rotate to the side of the zone that has the least amount of pressure on it. But here, at least in these games, they've been kind of out of position or finding this undue pressure. Maybe that's the changing teams around them.
They're like the Patriots, the New England Patriots of PUBG. They're just very consistent, always at the top, and at the same time, it's never really
and rampant cheaters.
It's never really. Oh my God!
No, all right, we're talking about the Patriots, not Shoot to Kill. We're talking about the Patriots, guys.
Nice.
Also,
hey,
why would you say that? Because I hate the Patriots, and now you're making me dislike Shoot to Kill just by association.
It just, well, it is what it is, right? They're constantly in the top of the leaderboard. They're constantly doing the right things. But it's a very, for lack of a better word, is a very boring play style.
It is 100% boring. It is 100% boring.
But it's so effective. Yeah. And when they get wins, they end up with a ton of kills and a ton of points. And you're like, God, that wasn't a whole lot of fun to watch, but damn, they're good.
Yeah, no, they're very slow rolling. But now they have a hard shift, and we're going to be moving well.
I was going to say, United looks like they might be having a little bit of a rough go as they've got Cloud9 that's approaching on one angle.
Taylor J often does not have trouble getting the Murado in the garage, you know what I'm saying?
All right, I'm dropping the pin, turning around, looking at the big screen on this one. Okay. First it was the misquoting of a black hole.
This is going from bad to worse. This is going. The wheels are rapidly coming off of this.
I love it's right after I call you #reform. By the way, thanks for that.
Speaking of the wheels coming off here, Venerated.
All right, taking a little bit of damage. But yeah, it doesn't hit the necessary shots onto it. Gets a little bit of damage onto him. Not going to connect with any of the tires off of that either, so it looks like it's going to be able to make it back over next to his friends. I originally thought that United was in the rough spot given this, but with the separation that's come out from Cloud9 and Envy, really, United's managed to carve themselves a very comfortable spot inside the circle.
Venerated getting really lucky there that Dill Hero decided to take the scare you away shots rather than the, you know, hey, I'm going to wait till you get really close so I can kill you shots.
Right. I mean, there's a lot of pressure mounting along the zone. We're at 10 minutes now, and there's still 63 alive, and you can feel it on the map on the northeastern side. There's just a ton of teams trying to rotate. They're doing these long sweeping moves. Cloud9 is in the center of the zone. They've got Endemic and Tempo Storm arriving. United's doing a 2-2 split. Not a lot of space in this map.
And remember, there is that giant hillside, say mountain to the north of Picado that makes it really difficult to rotate through. Naturally, a lot of teams are playing that high ground spot, but really it's forcing other teams to play closer to the low ground. There's also a lot of dead space in that area just to the southwest of Picado as well. So teams just being forced to cluster around each other.
Cloud9 watching Tempo Storm, at least trying to get an idea as to where they might be. We've got Dre looking back towards Endemic. That's the team that's closest to them, and this next shift is going to be a bloodbath on the north side. They have there's so much high ground, I should say, in the middle of the map where Ghost is hanging out. C9 again, just trying to find a line. Got the SLR at the ready. Poro, I mean, the north side, it's gonna be really rough.
Yeah, it's just due to the terrain and given how everything is kind of situated, it's going to be really hard for anybody to do any fast rotations. Everything is going to have to be very slow, which is, I mean, when you have all these teams packed on top of each other, it's going to make things really, really difficult. I imagine, you know, we're going to see one or two players get taken out from each team as they try to make their way in.
To follow up with what Poro was talking about is differences between fast and slow rotations. We're not going to see a lot of people really jumping in vehicles. It's going to be very dangerous if they do. Don't be surprised if we see a lot of people necessarily just playing around trenches, just making their way by foot through this next circles, just because with the density of players at 63 still alive, everybody has to assume that there's going to be somebody that's trying to kill them behind every rock.
Yeah, it's like the desert is filled with scary things. Like scorpions and all sorts of stuff. In this case, the PUBG players just littering the countryside of Miramar as, again, still 63 alive. We're about to see another circle shift. There's just so much terrain, so many compounds available. But that northeastern side, we've got Space Station Gaming. They're getting really close to where Oxy's at. Shoot to kills on the north side. And this next shift is going to dictate where that bloodshed is going to happen, and we're going to be centering up around that Picado region once again. Envy's feeling good, but that north side is a bunch of question marks in the chat right now.
Oh, we talked about that cliff, essentially, just to the north of Picado, and that looks like where a lot of action could be happening at, as so many teams are going to condense around it. Could we potentially see another Picado ending? Last couple of them have been pretty fun to watch.
Yeah, Ghost is in a really good position right here, but right now, C9 getting right on top of YTEM Fate.
YTEM Fate, Cloud9 taking a couple of shots back and forth at each other, as really rotations are key factors right now. So with this, you can see Cloud9's got a little bit of a faster move that's going to force YTEM Fate to retreat just a little bit back off of this. Naturally, they're all inside the safe zone, but with a fight happening along these lines, it could force a little bit of a distraction. That grenade looks like that could be on a nice angle for it. We know that Hetroid can hit some absolutely crazy grenades, but he's kind of found himself in a very difficult position.
This is a pivotal fight for YTEM Fate and Cloud9. There's still 16 teams alive. This needs to go in their favor if they want to have any hope of catching up to the team they're fighting, Cloud9.
I mean, we've got YTEM Fate, 26 points, you said it, Moses, outside of the top 4. They are winning an absolutely crazy bonkers points game. And with this, they've got Cloud9 just to the south of them, so everybody's still just kind of measuring each other out. Meanwhile, there's a ton of points still driving around on the outside of this zone. You can see it's going to be Noble and Lazarus just kind of bumping into each other right on the outside of YTEM Fate.
They're not just points matching, they're people.
They're points if you're in the top 4.
Well, hey, look, I think YTEM Fate making the right call and pulling off of that, but now they can turn their attention over here towards Lazarus and Noble, who are starting to fight just off to their northwest.
A lot of damage coming over towards Walt Jr. He just gets dropped off of this. Look at Felix actually moving into a very aggressive position. Adaculus also taking a lot of damage. Keep in mind, YTEM Fate is now separated away from the guys at Cloud9 and looking back down this hillside as well, so holding both of them back. Look at the dots on the minimap. They are just all right on top of each other. Fozu is walking right up into the YTEM Fate. He's got shots coming out from Adaculus on this other angle. He has to retreat back down off of it, though.
Wow. I don't know what the game plan was there for Fozu, but regardless, it had to end.
Get away, it felt like. Just get away from the scary things.
Ooh, Fudge actually landing a really nice shot here on Bahawak. I think they might have been able to get the res by now. Yeah, it looks like everybody's up for YTEM Fate here, but Fozu, yeah, I think he was trying to run away from everything, didn't realize that YTEM Fate was just on the other side of the hill.
So you have Felix that's looking back over towards Noble. You got Fozu that's looking at YTEM Fate. Last 2 members up for their team. And then you've got both of those teams just shooting over them back and forth between Noble and YTEM Fate. Look, YTEM Fate doesn't even have the angle back down on them right now because they're so caught up at shooting the Noble members on the blue.
Ooh, and all of this right now. I mean, nobody here coming in involved in getting involved, making YTEM Fate pull off of this, so they can just kind of hang out here. They have no other people trying to take them off of this hill.
This is exactly what they need, man. Just pick up these points on the edge of the zone. They're being pressed in by the zone itself, so there is actually Walt Jr. taking down Felix in the back line, and now they just have to wait YTEM Fate just to pick up as many points as they can.
I'm kind of curious. It doesn't look like they're aware of where Fozu is at. They naturally know that a lot of people from Noble are going to be repositioning, so they're expecting that. But Fozu could really be a huge factor in this next fight. He just doesn't have an angle or anything that he can do, so Noble and Adaculus still way outside in the blue as well. Everybody's going to hop in their vehicles. Long rotation around, I'm expecting.
Well, this is a big shift to the south as well. This is going to be the first down going to Hypoc. But even if YTEM Fate picks up a bunch of kills here, they have a massive shift to go south. And that northern side is about to be a complete bloodbath. C9 making their way into the zone now. They've got Envy shooting at them. Boy, oh boy, this is not going to be easy if you're on the northern side of the map.
Talked about it beforehand. 2 circles ago when there were 63 alive. Really, we've only dropped down to 56, and you can see everybody is just clustering up next to each other. Cloud9 taking a little bit of damage as Lobes goes down off of this.
That's a good nade.
Taro's trying to get the grenades off. Are they going to connect onto it? Look like they're off in the distance. Looks like they're going to fall just a touch short. No, actually, finally, something's going to connect. That's going to get nerfed down. So K-Mine, Profi, both playing the low ground. Another nade going to follow up from Taro. Get the flush onto nerf. Cloud9 in a little bit of a precarious situation as look at this. Venerated is just walking right up into his face. But your boy Dre, Tempo Storm, actually forcing him to retreat.
This is so clutch for Envy here. If they could have managed to finish off that fight with the grenades. Fortunately for C9, staying alive just long enough, but Tempo coming in with the last-minute third party, saving C9 essentially.
Gotta say, I love the positioning of Tempo Storm as well. They got a lot of space. They've got a compound to hold on to. C9 feeling a little bit of the heat now as Oxy is arriving. They can hear the vehicles, not to mention that big old cliffside behind them. They are wide in the open. This is not where Cloud9 wants to be.
You can see the bullets now running right over there next to K-Mine. Has to jump out of the vehicle. Profi also trying to reposition. There's just nowhere to go. There are so many players all just condensed around the spot. Everybody's making their way down from that hill just to the north of Picado, and it's just a funnel of players all coming into the exact same location. A little bit more damage coming out. Now it's going to be Endemic taking shots at Cloud9.
Picado is absolutely wild right now. There's 4 teams currently in it, although it looks like Ghost going to try to transition out as Envy's holding down the center right now. But Oxy still, so many teams, as you said, from the north trying to make their way in, Moses.
Yeah, it's going to be rough. I mean, Ghost actually picks up a nice compound in the center of the zone, and there's Profi making the mad dash, venerated, spraying at distance with that Scar. He's got the 3 times, the vehicle's smoking. Profi's got to be careful! Oh. And there he goes, and shoot to kill, picking him up.
There was just nowhere for him to go. He was just trying to get away, and it was just so many teams, and he just crested that hill right in front of Shoot to Kill. Now K-Mind is all by his lonesome. Well, he's got his friend, his Murado, next to him, but that's about it at this point.
It's me and you, Big Blue buddy.
Like, we've seen K-Mine manage to make it very, very late into these games as a Snake before.
With this, now we've got YTEM Fate taking the shots at Simplicity. There is Check Shooter right down below YTEM Fate, and I don't know if they see him. Gonna have to see how this plays out as now YTEM Fate now runs right down into Check Shooter, but look at that spin from Headshore. Gonna go ahead and take him down. Simplicity now only has 1 member up, and that's gonna be Simplicity. He has to hit Linksy. He's gotta hit an amazing shot onto this. Meanwhile, a little bit of help coming on the outside of this, as I believe it's going to be E-United and Oxy taking shots into this fight as well. Linksy just trying to hold the angle. He's got himself a rock to play around.
Oh, no.
2 members of YTEM Fate just trying to push up and forward. 2 different angles. Headshore finally spots him out. Now they're going to run in right in front of the Blues, but there is so little cover to work with, and so much damage has been done.
They have Envy taking shots. They have United taking shots. Ghost taking shots.
Man.
Everybody taking shots right now. Hypok's going to go down. Headshore is just behind him, and that's going to be YTEM Fate going out in 13th place. Unfortunate for them.
You can see the frustration on Headshor's face there. They had such a good game. Now going in 13th place, they picked up a couple of kills. If they had less than 7, though, I mean, it's just not the game that YTEM Fate needed to have.
Not especially when Envy and Shoot to Kill still in the running, still alive. Wild card as well, I believe, still in the southeastern part of the circle. There they are.
Look at Tempo Storm. They have a great building complex that they can play off of. Still inside the circle. Haven't necessarily had a chance to get a ton of kills, but they have so much flat land around them, they can just control this region. Meanwhile, Vicious Gaming and Smoking Aces do need to separate out away from this fight and somehow cross a kind of a no man's land to push into this next circle.
Man, hold on to some of those nades, Protege. Save some for later. Damn.
Well, I mean, you still got 3.
Yeah.
Well, look, I mean, Ghost was right to the north of Smoking Aces and Picado. They took the time to get out of there a little bit earlier, found themselves a nice compound. Smoking Aces and VG just taking a little bit longer, and now they might have to pay for it here.
Talk about these mutually assured destruction points. Vicious
wow.
Gaming is just hanging back to inflict what damage they can onto Smoking Aces because they know this next push is going to be deadly for them. So they do get a necessary down off of it. Just to the south of them, keep in mind, there is also Space Station Gaming. So really, oh my God, in the blue, just going down the stairwell is the most tilting thing on the face of the earth. It's like so much damage.
It's not like he didn't know the circle was coming.
Yeah.
So Protege is now kind of stuck here. He's going to have to maybe vault or try and pick up a kill or something. But I
maybe
guess,
a last minute knock.
I don't know what. No. Protege, you have to, sir, it's time to go. I don't know if you're late for your train.
No, he's just living here. This is all you can do at this stage is maybe just spot out somebody. Get that last little jerk kill back over to Smoking Aces if any of them pop their heads up. That's about it.
One more. He got one more, and it looks like Space Station was actually going to third-party this as well, but they've made their way into wildcard. Protege going to stay alive just a little bit longer.
Cherry, you got to let go of those things eventually, dude.
Oh, is he actually going to make it to the circle?
Well, he used his last first aid, I think.
No, he still has one more.
Yeah, but he's still got a lot of distance to cover.
He's done.
Oh, Cherry blew himself up intentionally.
Oh, there you go. Cherry pop.
No.
I'm going to make it, guys. I'm going to make it.
Drassel thanking him so much for his donation over to the Ghost Cause. You see K-Mine still alive, but here's the fight.
Oxy's trying to run right up next to E-United. E-United already sitting on 4 kills. Looks like it's about to be 7, and there you go. E-United decimates Oxymoron as they just try to get inside the safe zone.
This is bad news for Ghost, but now look, they're hearing the sounds of this. They're going to come and try to get involved as well. Meanwhile, Space Station wiped out Wildcard as that fight was going on. So what are they going to find here?
For now, it looks like K-Mine's got all of Ghost bearing down on him. Balix coming up the side. Oh, dear. He spots him, but a little bit of a trade going in their favor. Venerated's going to get into it as well. K-Mine blows up the vehicle, making some space for himself, but here comes the nade, and McCoy takes down Cloud9.
Look, and Envy just sitting there like, hey, thanks for finally taking care of that problem child we were dealing with over there. But now you can see Ghost is like, okay, where do we go? We're going to have to push into Envy off of this position. E United is very far away from this, might choose to third party into it. Really, it's just going to be Endemic, E United, and Ghost that need to move in the new zone.
I think Venerated wanted to go on that, but just couldn't get everyone to get online with him. But we got Maluk. Again, Tempo has been in this position a very long time. They still have this zone, and they have a good line of sight now onto Endemic.
I like this from Ghost. They're not. I think they're going to try to wrap a little bit more to the east here, knowing that E United was off to the west. They know where Venerated is. Oh, they actually got the down onto Venerated. They might push on this.
It's such a risky push, all things considered, though. They know the fact that they have the down, but really 10 seconds to close that gap. Meanwhile, Tempo Storm is taking pot shots at them, not letting them move forward at all. Finally, they just make the call. They're like, it's time to go. There's nothing else we can do. Tempo Storm is just going to tear us apart. The res is coming out. Taro's trying to get Venerated up, but that's going to allow Ghost to manage to crash into the bottom of this. So now Envy has some enemies down below them. You can see Pat's readying the grenades, probably going to throw them back down the stairwells. Taro's still looking around and is going, okay, did they push? Surely they have to hear the footsteps at this point.
I think Ghost waited just a little too long to make the call to move into this position now. I mean, they haven't been punished just yet, but that has allowed Envy to get the res up, and Balak did get taken down at distance, so they could have had 4 there had they just been a little faster.
United also kind of approaching onto this. They're separating out. They want to get a little bit more control over the circle. They might choose to come on a similar path on this. So Shrimzy's still looking around, gets a little bit of a flashbang to his face. Batcaps looks like, is he on the outside of the building now looking around for them?
I think so.
This grenade
might actually
absolutely big. No.
Oh, gets him down to half though.
Nice little pickup there for the damage-wise. Patcaps is going to throw one in return. Oh, Ghost getting pretty damn close to it, but they're going to back away.
Look at Dill Hero. He's just stepping up onto this, and here we go. A couple of shots now coming out from them. And Dimick also taking some shots from Tempo Storm. It's just turning into a fiesta on the outside of this as everybody's starting to get range on this. Dill Hero firmly separated away from the rest of his team that's now under fire. Looks like he's committing to becoming invested inside of this fight. Patcaps grenade now throws. Is it going to connect with anything? I think it's going to be a little bit too deep inside there, so now McCoy's going to take the damage. And there you go. It's going to be Dill Hero that gets the down onto Venerated. He's just popping off on the outside of this. Meanwhile, Geist is still caught up in a fight on the other side. Can he get the res on a Pistola time? This feels like this could be another great performance coming out from E United if they can weather this.
Ghost is trying to figure out where that down was. They're like, okay, Venerated's down. They know they're fighting Envy, but where is he? And now the nades come out the window. McCoy drops one in the lap. Interrogate, maybe doesn't hear it land. He does a little bit of damage coming down, and the down will come down. Drassel, I'm saying down too much, man. Go ahead.
Right on the other side of the wall there, so it doesn't actually connect with McCoy's looking back over. Gonna get a little bit of damage on the Patcaps. Gonna manage to hit him in the backpack, essentially. So now Venerated's down. Venerated's the last person up and alive. So with this, he's got to figure out how he wants to play. You can see he's trying to play around the smokes. Everybody from Envy has to know. But I think they used all of their utility earlier. Baby. Now they're jumping down to the smoke. Spotted out, gets the spray, and that's going to be Envy getting eliminated by Ghost.
Oh, Venerated, look at the hand on the forehead there. He was not expecting Ghost to win that fight. They thought that they had the good position. They could have done more there, but Ghost playing it so well. If it not been for Dill Hero just throwing an absolute wrench into their plans, they could have come out on top of there.
And that was a big assist by Dill Hero for Ghost Gaming, getting that down onto Venerated. And I got to say, they've got themselves now another uphill battle. They're not quite in the zone. Maybe a little bit of a building to work with, maybe a little bit of hard cover there. But again, the southern, there's so much space in the circle here, man.
Tempo Storm has got control of that little ridge right next to the road. So they have a sight line on the rotation from Space Station Gaming. That's going to force Space Station Gaming to potentially play a little bit further north, which might put them next to Ghost Gaming. But so Malicious, you're the last member alive on your team, and you're right in between 2 different squads. Tempo Storm is at that alive stage, and they're just tearing apart Vexel's head. Somehow he managed to live through that. So Malicious is no longer a target, but he's actually taking down everybody from Space Station Gaming in the background. Too many
I hear you there, Space Station Gaming. They got caught out in rotation while they were just running across the road, essentially. Tempo Storm getting a bit of an assist there from Soapylicious, but look at all the space Tempo has made for themselves. They are 4 strong. They're picking up kills, and now they're going to pick up that loot from Space Station Gaming as well. Ghost has got the zone, and they've got some vision on the E United, but Poro, this is going to be rough for them to try and battle now with Tempo Storm, considering the terrain they have.
I mean, geez, at this point, the only RNG involved in NPL is whether Tempo or Shoot to Kill is going to be fighting for first place at the end of the game. As we see Ghost still looking strong, still have that compound, but Tempo is 4 strong. They just wiped out Space Station, but Zampa's going to go down.
They're drawing a lot of attention with the way they're moving. They're trying to get some more information off of that. So Zampa does go down. Keep in mind, they were the last 4-man squad still up. Ghost Gaming has 3. We've got United with 2, and Shoot to Kill has 2. So with this, everybody's now starting to reposition around a very active Tempo Storm.
Ghost needs to go. I mean, they're underpowered. Maybe it's a risky play. They got the opening down. I don't know. Maybe it's too difficult for them to get out of this bowl without getting third party. But man, I would love to see just a little bit more pizzazz from Ghost.
Look at Shoot to Kill, 2 members. So it's not a numbers factor. They aggressively moved right up next to where Tempo Storm is at.
They're worried about
waiting to catch them. So keep in mind, they did have Dill Hero that just kind of popped up and randomly did damage.
Ghost can't get out of this bowl without getting caught by someone else. But they're doing this. They're doing the right thing. They're rotating out. They're all together. They have eyes on the rock.
Oh, and that's going to be eyes on Geiss's head as well, as Pistola Time's going to take a little bit of damage. Trying to get the spray off of it, but there you go. Ghost now gets control over this part of the circle, but Purdy Curdy's separated out. Look at that. That is a 1v1 versus squads over there. Adam tries to take down Tempo Storm, but he's going to get knocked, and it's going to be a quick flush onto that. So now it's just Purdy Curdy holding back Ghost on the other angle.
Would love to see Ghost get pushed up here. It looks like they're going to be able to do that, but they're going to get sprayed at by Tempo Storm. This is forming up to be a very interesting fight. I love Ghost control on their low side. They've got a ridge to work with. They have some movement options available. Purdy Curdy, he's going to spot Drassel, and the quick flush, that is going to really do a lot of damage to Ghost.
And look, Maluk comes alive now. He knows, okay, there's the fight. We know how many members of Ghost are potentially alive. Now sneaking back over here. Are they going to spot out Shoot to Kill? No.
What?
Going to drop back down behind that hillside. No, that was a dead corpse right up above him. Remember, that's a kill he just got a second ago, so now he got Ghost. Looks like Shrimzy's going for a little bit of a reposition, but Tempo Storm has just got control over the center of this, blowing apart anything that could be any form of cover. Purdy Curdy's still alive with everybody around him.
Shrimzy's looking for nades, I promise you. He's like, there's got to be something around here somewhere.
This ridge line that Purdy Curdy has to work with is such a pain in the butt. You can't really get any angle into it. I mean, you just gotta have to find a grenade and hope that maybe you hit there, but Shrimzy gonna try to come around for a different angle. He doesn't like that McCoy and himself are right next to each other.
It's really a battle for second place, and Purdy Curdy really seems like he wants that second place. He's like, Tempo Storm, no, look the other direction. Shrimzy's over there. I've already killed 2 of them for you. Tempo Storm coming alive. Actually looked like they're playing off the angle, trying to spot out Shrimzy. They might be aware of where they're at. So smokes are used now. Everybody playing the angle. All right, now it's just a matter of time. Tempo Storm has an idea on where everything's at, and no, it's going to be Shoot to Kill going down in that 3rd place spot. Shrimzy's about to step out of the smoke right up into Tempo Storm, so Tempo Storm, 6 kills, but getting themselves another victory.
Looking good there. That was a good game for Ghost. I think they had a few little mistakes there that cost them a few players there in the end game, but they played it well. Tempo Storm, however, clinical. 4 up in the end game, rolling.
At this point, do you expect anything less of Tempo? I mean, the only thing I'm kind of surprised by is the kill count was a little low, but this is really just nitpicking with this team at this point. They are so dominant.
But Ghost Gaming coming up with 2nd place and 8 kills. That is a much needed breath of life.
Huge. Well, I mean, the only problem with it is that E United also having a nice little pack of kills, 8 kills in a 4th place.
Yeah. Right.
So E United actually overtook Ghost last game. So now Ghost is trying to catch up to E United as well as 10th place.
I mean, I'm kind of torn. Who was the bigger X factor inside that round? Was it Purdy Curdy that was kind of messing around with Ghost there towards the end? Or was it Dill Hero that really just turned a whole fight?
I think Dill Hero was an important factor through that southern side fight, trying to sort itself out. But ultimately, I think it was just it was a rough circle because there's so much open area. I just like what I saw from Ghost. They took the right risks.
Yes.
Normally they kind of slow down when they have a push in front of them, but this is a step in the right direction, and I think Ghost has got a little bit of that desperation in him right now.
You know what else we learned inside that round?
What's that?
Being out in the blue and having to go down that stairwell inside of Mikado takes a real long time.
Yeah, definitely sucks. Well, you know what else we learned? Simplicity and Smoke and Aces did not have the best of games there. United, Ghost did have good games. So now we're starting to talk about them catching up at this point. I doubt it'll be enough to pass them today, or at least after this game, but we'll have to see where they're sitting at the end of today going into tomorrow. Still got 1 game left.
Tempo Storm just feels like, I know we keep making the comment about the fact that they're a force of nature. It just feels like they're unstoppable. Every single time somebody starts trying to catch up to them in the leaderboard, they're like, no, I'll just take another 20 points. Yeah, I'll just take a round victory, thanks.
We'll just pick up a game here and there. You know, this Tempo.
Just crazy. I mean, they always end up late game, and you never really see any crazy fights with them happening in the mid game or anything. You never see them losing players unless it's just like a weird game where they had caught out in rotation. But they're just so consistent right now.
It's been a big thing with rotation for them is just getting away from that pressure. But we'll let them answer the questions themselves. They're standing by with Rachel down on the stage.
Thank you, guys. I'm here with your boy Dre, and Dre, actually, you screwed up my calculations. I was like, no, Tempo Storm's gonna win. Probably first game, if not first, definitely second. You waited all the way to the third game to take one today. What happened?
We had a couple pretty shaky first games, but we were able to pick it up in the third game. We scouted to a really good compound, and we just worked our way in. We cleared our edge, and we got the win, so good.
Yeah, how do you guys come back from a rough first game like that?
We just like try to stay calm. Like, we know we're a good team, and we know what we're capable of. So if we can just keep our nerves fine, we can close out any game.
Who on the roster gives you that pep talk to say shake it off and get back in there?
We all try to stay calm. We all try to make sure everyone's not tilted, and we're trying to make sure we're having a good time as well. So.
Well, this last game here worked out great for you guys. A lot of clean 2-2 splits, just sort of wiping up the map. Talk to me about your approach when you get down to the final circle. You know only 1 or 2 are alive from each team. It's hard to pinpoint where they are.
Yeah, we try to stay track of the kills. We try to know how many are up on each team. So we knew SDK had 1 up. We knew Ghost had a couple up. So once we saw SDK knock 1 of Ghost, we just wrapped that edge, and we were able to wipe the whole server. So it was good.
Well, you guys have been leading on the leaderboards all season long. You've had a wonderful performance at the NPL Royale, strong performance in opening weekend. Are you looking to finish first place once again? Oh,
of course. We always shoot for first, and we're going to get first for sure. So.
A little extra pressure with Rain out of Tempo Storm in the audience out there?
Yeah, shout out to Raynad, shout out to Tempo Storm. All this wouldn't be possible without them, so we're very grateful. And also, shout out to my mom at home, International Women's Day. I love her, so thanks so much for supporting me.
That is wonderful, that's beautiful, and I know you guys are gonna put on a good show to round out the day, but for now, we're gonna go to a quick break, come back for that last game.
Thank you.